Something that can never be avoided, no matter how you try, is waiting. The feeling of being forced to wait, for most, can leave you distraught. A study done by the National Association of City Transportation Officials states that on average, people spend about 6 months of their life waiting at red lights. So if it's so common, what does waiting feel like for you?
Well, that varies from person to person. Sometimes waiting some people interpret it as a period of calmness, other people anticipatory. It also depends on what we're waiting for. Our minds scan the environment to try to regulate the amount of arousal that we're experiencing at any period of time. And so some people who are very uncomfortable with waiting, they may have like a low tolerance for waiting period. When their arousal level that is in their mind starts to decrease relative to what the brain wants it to be, that's when they start feeling antsy, edgy, frustrated, anticipatory, bored, etc. As for what boredom is specifically, boredom is a signal. It is not good, it's not bad. It's kind of like the check engine light or the refill washer wiper fluid light on your dashboard. It's simply information about something going on under the hood that we can't see. Our mind is wanting a particular level of arousal, a particular level of information coming in, and what it's receiving is below what it wants. So when we go to do something, let's say that you go to eat a hot fudge sundae, your brain is going to guesstimate what kind of reward you're going to get. And it's going to say, just like with arousal, I'm expecting this much dopamine. Now, once you eat the hot fudge sundae, your brain evaluates how good that hot fudge sundae is, and it gets either less dopamine than expected, where you could say, that hot fudge sundae was kind of a little overrated, or maybe it gets the exact amount, which, hey, as agreed, I had a hot fudge sundae, good hot fudge sundae. Or maybe it's a knock it out of the ballpark, fantastic hot fudge sundae, and you get way more dopamine than you had anticipated. And that's when you're like, oh my God, gotta tell all my friends, bringing my family back here tonight, this is a hot fudge sundae to write about on Google,
Yeah. So if our bodies are always managing dopamine, then is it a bad thing that we have a constant source of it in our pockets? What are the dangers of having a phone in your pocket at all times? A constant source of dopamine. Is that something to be worried about? Possibly the end of society?
A lot of the time, some of the scare is hype. It gets your attention. When something is framed as a threat, we are hardwired to pay attention to things that threaten us. So we wouldn't want, for example, let's say a Western Iowa Tech student to be so obsessed with social media that they aren't paying attention to their classes, they're not forming friendships here, they're not networking here. That could be disastrous on an individual level.
So if what she speaks of is true, then is pulling out a phone when waiting for a movie, for church, or maybe just some time at a parking meter worth all this worry? Well, it can really go both ways.
It's not terrible to pick up the smartphone sometimes and play Candy Crush or doom scroll social media. We just want to try to make that a smaller part. Just like you can't survive on hot fudge sundaes alone. You'd get sick.
In my opinion, If you feel that you're losing your sense of creativity and thoughtfulness, then maybe you should let yourself get bored and embrace it. However, if thinking outside the box isn't an issue for yourself, then I don't see a problem with using a phone for a little bit of entertainment to pass the time. Take a deep breath and take some time to reflect. Am I developing myself and building a future, or just letting myself waste away?